Jason Alexander is unquestionably best known for one role, but what a role it was. High-strung, lucky loser George Costanza on Seinfeld. He was just 29 when the show premiered in 1989. Playing an iconic character early in one's career can be a double-edged sword. Sure, the job security, money, and being a part of TV history are nice, but it's hard for an audience to accept actors in other roles after they're so closely associated with one familiar character. Believe it or not, Alexander has had a colorful, balanced, and sometimes glamorous career after Seinfeld. Here's what he's been up to recently. Cursed to fail. For years, there was talk of a Seinfeld curse, which seemed to affect the former cast of that classic comedy. Everyone's first post-Seinfeld projects tanked. Julia Louis-Dreyfus's Watching Ellie, Michael Richards' The Michael Richards Show, and a pair of Jason Alexander shows. First up was Bob Patterson, a short-lived 2000 ABC sitcom about a motivational speaker whose personal life was a mess.
My colleague, Bob Patterson, was a constant reminder that there is more to life than success.
Then came Listen Up, which followed a fictionalized version of sports radio host Tony Kornheiser, who's a big shot at work but has a dysfunctional personal life. Both shows lasted less than a year. Taking Charge. Few people know episodic TV better than Jason Alexander. Seinfeld featured more complicated direction than most traditional sitcoms in the 90s. Thus, Alexander's experience on that show makes him uniquely qualified to direct television, and that's what he does now. He's helmed episodes of everything from the improv-heavy Campus Ladies to the single-camera Everybody Hates Chris to tried-and-true sitcom fare like Mike and Molly, and even dramas like Criminal Minds. He also directed and appeared in country star Brad Paisley's music video for the hit song Online. Song and Dance Man. Before Seinfeld premiered, Alexander was a theater guy. In the 80s, he starred in plenty of New York stage fare, including Jerome Robbins' Broadway, which earned him a Tony Award for Best Actor in a Musical. After Seinfeld concluded in 1998, he returned to the footlights, starring as Max Bialystock in the first national tour of The Producers. He also notably had a starring role in the 2015 play Fish in the Dark, which was written by Seinfeld co-creator Larry David.
If I came to see the play, would you want me to come backstage? You would not have to come backstage. Here's... That's all I needed to hear!
On the road, on stage. Like other well-known comic actors that came before him, Alexander hit the stage with an autobiographical one-person show entitled An Evening with Jason Alexander and His Hair. Described as a hilarious retelling of his journey to and on the Broadway stage, Alexander sings songs, tells jokes, and does a little crowd work. He also wears a completely bogus hairpiece for the performance. He's toured the show off and on in casinos and theaters around the world since 2014. On the road, on TV. There are so many networks cranking out high-quality TV these days that it's easy to overlook even a show starring a Seinfeld veteran. Since the fall of 2017, Alexander has starred on the Audience Network's Hit the Road, which he co-created. He plays a dad in search of higher meaning in his life who forces his family into a rock band-style tour bus to drive around the country.
Let's go. Suit up and start zazzing. Start zazzing. Suit it up. Suit it up.
The Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Alexander was raised in a Jewish home, and he has worked extensively with a group aiming to broker understanding in Israel. In 2004, he helped launch the One Voice campaign, which enabled regular Palestinians and Israelis living in disputed areas to vote online for peace and settlement initiatives. Alexander's work with the campaign has included public appearances and promotional videos.
Peace together now.
Too rich to work too hard. Alexander hit the showbiz jackpot with Seinfeld. Not only was it a creatively fulfilling role on a hit sitcom for which he earned multiple Emmy nominations and lasting fame, but he was also handsomely paid. In the final season alone, he earned $600,000 an episode. Factoring in his cut from endless reruns on syndication and online streaming, Alexander is reportedly worth millions today. If we don't see him on screens too much anymore, perhaps it's because he can afford to be selective with his time.
Well, the jerk store called. They're running out of you.
What's the difference? You're their all-time bestseller!